Good morning, my journaling friend. Let me just advise, get your favorite cup of tea or coffee because this is going to be one fun topic that I would love to get your participation in. Today, we're going to talk about friends. Well, let's talk about our journals and how they tie in with our friends. But first, I have to say, if you're new to my channel, on here on Seaweed Kisses, I talk about my favorite journals, planners. I do a little bit of reviews and do some flip throughs. So if you're not a journal lover or user or enthusiast, then you might find this particular video a little odd. Now, this topic, I want to tie in with comparing journals to friends. I was going to use the comparison of shoes too. So whenever, coworkers or even some peers that I talk to, they always ask me, hey, you're always using a different journal. Why is that? Why can't you just stay in one planner or in one journal? And I ask them, why do you have different pairs of shoes? Why can't you use your same hiking boots for, the ball event or a formal dinner, right? We have different pairs of shoes for different events or different occasions in our life. And some require more durability, while others can be light and dainty for other occasions. And that is exactly how I feel about my notebooks, particularly when it comes to journaling. So this first journal that I am sharing with you is my everyday carry around journal, but this is not a review video. This is just going over how certain planners play their role into my life. They may not all have names, but they do all serve a purpose. So for these light pocket planners, these are just really thin, on the go, easy to slip in and out of any handbag. These are what I call my acquaintances. These are my acquaintance friends, meaning I just, talk about the surface topics. I just have little quotes, what would be, comparable to like memes. I share favorite song lyrics on here. I write down anything that I may come across, like a poem, a movie recommendation, a restaurant recommendation, all the little things that you would talk about with an acquaintance. You don't go too deep and dive into your deepest, darkest secrets, but you do share, a little bit of your common interest. You keep it light and easy. And that is exactly what these notebooks are for. It's just very light and easy, fun little tidbits that I can transfer them into other planners or journals if I have to. So next, this is my coworker friend. We all have that friend at work that we can turn to, ask questions, talk about our weekend. Oh my gosh, did you watch Game of Thrones? How did you feel about that episode? That type of friend. The one that you get along with in the work space, but someone that you don't necessarily hang out of outside of work. And just because you don't hang out with them outside of work doesn't mean you don't care for them. It could just mean conflicting, schedules. Maybe they have kids that they have to give their attention to during the week and you're busy with your own agenda. But during the work week, the 9 to 5 days, you guys are like really close. You guys go on lunch together. You brainstorm like project ideas, work through tasks, review meeting notes. So things like that. This is the day designer. Again, I'm a weirdo. I keep these little labels on here because if I like something, I know exactly what type of brand this journal is or this notebook and, the specifications. So I know like what to Google if I'm trying to hunt it down. I do keep my work plans separate from my personal plans. I'm not the type of person that can put my personal planning in here along with my work planning just because I like to keep my personal and work life separated. Next is my art friend, or I actually call this my art teacher. My art teacher, allows me to explore my creative side, gives me permission to be curious about other mediums and other techniques. This journal I use only for playing around with paints and working on more creative spreads that may not be too like dark and heavy within my thoughts. But judging by the color tone that I picked out for these past couple of spreads, I can already tell I was like in a confused state of mind. I can always tell what mood I'm in based on the colors that I choose for my art spreads. Are you the same way? And, with my art teacher or my art journal, I love this book because sometimes I just don't even need to have words. I can express myself with just plops of paint, a little quote, and, she still understands me. She still gets me. So this is a friend that I turn to when I just want to let loose and paint the day away and not really talk about any of my problems, or if I just want to be fun and creative for that afternoon. Okay, so this here, let me introduce you to my best friend. She's gonna have to get a makeover because this is just journals coming close to its end. But my best friend here, she is a great combination of all three. She is a combination of the acquaintance, the work, and the art teacher. In this journal, I have all three. I'll have the funny quotes in here, the casual conversations, but then also I might sneak in like some work ideas or projects that I think would work for the team. So I'll also scribble that into these pages as well and then just present it into my planner when I have time. And then if I want to work on a spread, or if there's maybe some type of art supply that I want to try, then I'll, create a little wish list within these pages. So this is my best friend. She is light, she's easy to carry around, so therefore she goes with me practically everywhere. She knows my flaws, she knows my strengths, she knows what my interests are. She understands me, but she's also one-sided. She always sides with me. So this here, and if you're curious, this is just a regular moleskin plain notebook, nothing special. I'm gonna link my previous video, which was my favorite unpopular journals. Check that out because I really want to share that with my journaling friends that may feel like, oh, I need a fancy notebook to get my journaling practice going, or it has to be something big and fancy. It really doesn't. And even the ones that are somewhat expensive, I mean, they're sometimes not even the better option, but it's whatever works for you. I'll also link down a video on finding the perfect journal for your practice too. Now, although she is my best friend, I do have other really good friends too that, I'll meet up with, hang out, go to sushi dates. These are my composition notebooks. Again, this isn't a review video, but the paper quality, could be better. It's not all that great, but hey, it gets the job done. This is just an extension of this. This isn't something I would carry around, but if I'm at the computer and I want to jot something down real quick, or if I want to work on a more detailed project and I need layouts and more space to get all of the creative juices going, then I'll use these bigger composition notebooks just because they're very budget friendly and they're accessible. I can find them pretty much anywhere. I don't have to hunt them down or look online. And the different covers make them really fun. Oh, this one actually is my new art journal. So she's my new friend. She's different than this art teacher friend. She's more of this I would say is more like my art teacher. This is more like an art friend. So we'll go out painting together. We're doing the process together. This journal is just kind of going along with the ride. It's not really trying to guide me into anything particular. It's just kind of going with the flow. And if you're a patron of mine, then you'll know some of the spreads already that I keep within these. If you haven't checked those out, I will leave the link here as well, so you can feel free to check that out. But I actually came across a great alternative because the paper quality isn't as thick to hold up with like paints and darker inks with these decomposition books. I'm so glad that I stumbled across the Exceed brand. This is the large version and it comes, well, the one that I picked up is the dot grid. This is 100 GSM and I am loving it. I am just so glad I came across this because it has the elastic closure, which is my personal preference when it comes to any journal. And it's the same size as these composition notebooks, so I can still, lay out all of my thoughts and my creativity without feeling restricted. So if you have a Walmart near you, definitely check out the Exceed brand. Okay, and this is my travel buddy. She is my travel friend. This is that friend that, lives in a different country or in a different state. We are still good friends, but, we don't have the convenience of meeting up every week because our location is just so far. We're separated. But when we do meet up, we have the best time. It's like we can pick up right where we left off. So this is the Traveler's Notebook. I did a flip through of my travel journal, which again, I will link that all down below if you're interested in seeing like more details. But yes, just like a travel friend, you know, I don't pour all of my worries and burdens into this journal. It's all about good times, fun vibes, great food, wonderful destinations. You know, she's that friend that you can call up and be like, hey, where would you recommend, you know, to eat in this state or in this part of town? And she's like, oh, I got you. I know exactly where you should go. Or when I fly in to meet her, she's there to pick me up at the airport and we'll be out for like days just exploring the town, the city, going out. This is that friend, and this is that journal. Now, this one is my newest friend. She's part of the club now. This is what I would call my spiritual friend. She's that friend that, you know, when you need some motivation or a prayer, you know, you can turn to her and be like, girlfriend, can you pray for me? Can you help me through these trying times? I'm going through something really deep and, you know, I could use some guidance. So this is my gratitude journal. I will leave a link down below again, or a note card here if you're interested in seeing more details. But this little handy thing has really helped my gratitude practice and appreciate the smaller things in life, which actually are the bigger things in life. So check that out if you're interested. Okay, and last but not least, this, you guys, this is my mentor. My mentor, look how thick this is. This is the Moleskine expanded version. Now, she is the most superior, if you will, out of all of my journals. Most of the thoughts in here and the journaling spreads are from a neutral point of view. There are lots of articles, quotes, morning pages that, you know, I dump onto here, and then when I reflect back onto these, it's like she was there as my keeper to log all of the transformations that I've gone through, the obstacles that I've managed to work through. You know, she gives me the guidance that I need, the motivation, and most importantly, the emotional support that I seek, you know, on certain days and certain areas in my life. Also, she's really helped increase my confidence. You know, to believe in myself more, to sharpen my skill sets, to point out maybe some areas that I could strengthen. So she is one that I value the most. Her friendship I value definitely the most because she helps me tie in all of these, you know, other aspects in my life and gives me a grander view of, I guess you would say, like my life purpose. And a lot of these journalings, I actually replay the teachings that I've learned from my real life mentor. If you're a regular viewer of mine, you know that I referred to my mentor, I'll call her M, but she has helped and transform my way of thinking about a lot of things and changed my mindset. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity I had to, you know, be a mentee of hers. So now that she's passed that on to me, I keep these into my journals for memory, and I also exercise those practices that she has taught me and that I value. So if it's anything, this is the one journal that if there was a fire, I would definitely grab this one. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging in there. And I'm curious to know, who are your friends? Who are your journaling friends? And what do you use them for? I think this would be like a fun little video challenge. If you're interested, please, you know, comment down below or share a video response that you might do talking about your journaling friends, and comment down below. Inspire us all. Let us know that it's okay to have more than one friend. You can't have that one friend for all aspects of your life. I mean, you could, but then that friend is going to be overwhelmed with your work drama, personal life drama, your dreams and aspirations. That's overwhelming. They don't want to hear all of that. But I do want to note, be careful of that toxic friend. So if you have a journal or a friend that you notice repeating patterns of like negativity or like gossiping, what can you do to change that friend around, or your or your mindset or your writing style. I've mentioned this before in a video where my journalings, I focus on the good. If it's the bad, then I'll point out what the challenge was, but I try to avoid like woe is me, because once I stay in that mindset, it's easy to just keep going down, 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 so far down where you feel hopeless. So be careful of that friend that keeps you down and enjoy seeing you in misery, and look for that mentor or that best friend, that cheerleader, one that's going to like motivate you and give you that energy to like push through and enjoy life. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.